Guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. I'm your host for today, Rayma Phillips, and you can watch us on AMP2 TV, and you can listen to us on 96.9 and 95.3 OBs. It is my pleasure today to introduce our guest, Miss Priscilla Seymour. Hi, Miss Priscilla. How are you doing today?
I am on top of the world, as my mentor would always say. I am doing fabulous.
That is absolutely amazing. And again, it is our pleasure to have you on Tell Us Our Biz tonight. And it is just amazing to finally be able to talk to you and hear more about your business.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, of course. So you are the owner of Complete Elder Solution. Tell me a little bit about how you were able to start your business.
Well, I was able to start my business working as a social worker. So my background is social work. So I have a master's degree in social work, and I worked in the nursing homes for many years. And so one day I got this epiphany, and I thought I would always have phone calls from my families when parents would get discharged from the hospital, or they're there and they need to stay long term in a nursing home. And they would call me and say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be back on the plane. Mom's going to be here alone. What can I do? And I thought I never had anyone to really send a referral or anyone to suggest, because we weren't doing that in the early 2000s. And so I thought one day I'd just start doing it. You know, I got some cards, I printed up the cards, and I took them to nursing homes to some of my fellow social workers.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I received a telephone call. I said, I can do this. And I love doing it. And I've always worked with seniors all my life, all my entire life. That's my history. That's my passion. That's what I love.
What are some of the positive sides of working within this particular field?
Well, one of the positive sides is I love when we receive a phone call and people always, or the response is, where have you been? This is what I needed. I mean, I can sleep now. I feel better. I have a go-to. I have something or someone or a company that I can speak to concerning my problems and things, because we often plan financially, but we never plan clinically how to make the right decision. So that's a very positive feedback, and it's something that I enjoy hearing when they say to me oftentimes, this is a godsend. You know, thank you so much.
So while starting your business, what were some of the challenges that you face, especially kind of introducing your business to the South Florida area and Central Florida as well?
Well, one of the challenges is it's a very boutique business. So it's not something that you would typically understand or know to Google. Most of the time, if you need home health, you know you need a nurse in your home or an aide. So you can Google, and you'll get thousands and thousands of home health companies. But what you won't get is a care coach. Most of the time, senior care coaches, that's not something that will come to the forefront, or care managers. Most people really don't understand the advantage of having a care manager, or even realizing that they need a care manager. So that can be a challenge. Marketing and letting people really understand that, like you have a financial advisor, like you have an attorney, you need a care coach, because all of us have our roles. We all have roles. And so that is the challenge that we face even today, just letting people understand the importance and the benefit. So now I've learned to articulate it. It's much like a policy, an insurance policy. You use us when you need us.
So tell me a little bit more about what it means to be someone's care coach.
But what it means to be a care coach is you have direct access. So when you are caring for a loved one, the dynamics change every day, or the dynamics can change slowly. It can change in 30 days. You can visit your mom or a loved one, and they were doing fine. And the next day, you'll notice that they have forgotten you, or you can see the changes slipping away. Or I flew in, the house just doesn't look like what I thought it was. Mom has not been taking medications. She's been falling. The same food is in the refrigerator, but I don't know where to start to get help. Should I put someone in the home? Should I move mom out? These are all the concerns that typically you have. But if you have a coach, we're with you every step of the way. So it could be I'm not ready, but I see the handwriting on the wall. I can see the changes with my loved ones, and I think we're going to be approaching that time soon. Or you could be in the crisis moment where you visit mom and you need to make decisions right away. So we call those crisis, we're in crisis. Mom can no longer, or dad can no longer live at home alone. What am I going to do? Well, that's what your care coach is for. Or you're now shopping for a place to place mom. And I don't know the questions to ask. I don't know what to look for. I don't know what to expect when I visit these places. I've heard so many nightmares out here about them. I've heard horrible things about nursing homes and assisted living. Your care coach will hold your hand, give you some recommendations of places to take a look at. We've already vetted them out. You can go take a look. You have your list of questions. And in some cases, your coach can go with you because it's very overwhelming. It's very scary. It's something that most of us don't look forward to doing. So this is the comfort you would get in your care coach. Now, after we place them, they're in a facility or we have care at home, things have calmed down. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, we need to elevate the care. You can pick up the phone and call your care coach.
That is
And
true.
then we'll,
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry, I didn't
sorry.
mean to interrupt. I was about to say that is truly amazing because I feel like so many times we don't really think about what happens after we get to that age, nor are we able to plan accordingly. So having a care coach is probably so beneficial not only to your patients but to the families in general. The entire families benefit from the care that you're able to provide.
Right. So what happened is you've got a working daughter. She's traveling all over the world, or she herself is raising a family. She's got things going on, but I'm concerned about mom, and I don't have time to search the internet to find, places or the right care at home or. So I'm stressing now because who am I going to call? I've got the finances in place. We've got an attorney, or I don't even know anyone to call. So this is what your care coach will help alleviate the anxiety. Okay, and you can have your life. You can continue to have your soccer meetings with your children or go on family trips because your care coach is going to make sure all the services are there in place for you. And so you use less time finding the resources for your loved one and more time with your family without the guilt. Because oftentimes we feel guilty. I can't be there. I can't do it. I've got my son and my daughter, or I'm living my life now. I'm in my 50s and I'm near retirement, and my husband, the kids are grown, and we want to enjoy our life. And now, mom or dad or a loved one, now you found yourself being a caregiver. So you're stressed. It's extremely stressful. It's the anxiety. I cannot tell you the anxiety that people face when making these decisions. But again, your care coach, the goal is to demise or bring that anxiety level down at least by 50% right off the bat.
That's truly amazing. And you talked about earlier about the vetting of the nursing homes. Tell me a little bit more about the process that you go through when vetting the nursing homes for your clients.
So in our agency, we have relationships with nursing homes where we refer people to. So typically, of course, you're going to get a list of about three facilities that you can go and take a look at. These are facilities that we've worked with in the past. We know they care. We know the kind of care your mom or your dad or your loved one is going to receive. So typically, it's an ongoing relationship. Now, ultimately, the clients make the choice and decision. But the choices that you're given, they've already been vetted and they're referral sources from our agency. Unless it's a particular area or something that they mention or they would like to see, we'll go ahead and make the phone call, set up the interview for them, and put that in place. But typically, these are companies that we have an ongoing relationship with, and we refer our clients to on an ongoing basis.
That's awesome. And then, as a care coach, are you also able to assist within their medical needs as well, referring them to different doctors and helping the families on that side of the spectrum as well?
Well, if the request is there, typically when you have a senior, they pretty much come with their own physician. So you want to work as a liaison with the family and the physician. So if we need to see different specialists, typically your coach will work along with you and make sure that they refer them to a network somewhere close in the area because they may want to see your loved one 20 miles away. We know that won't work. So that's a benefit where we can actually be a liaison with the family and the physician to say, this is what's going to work. This is the times that are available, and things like that. So yeah, clinically we will help, but most of the time you're going to find someone that come with their own physician.
That's really awesome. So, but you're still able to help and guide them, which I feel like is so amazing and is so useful. And it's honestly necessary as well. Back to what I was mentioning beforehand, this is something that a lot of people don't think about until you get to that age, until you get to that point. And seeing a parent, seeing a loved one go through that can be so scary. And I can't imagine how much help you're able to offer all your clients. The information alone can just again ease that anxiety, ease that tension that so many of them will probably feel during this process. Do you
Absolutely.
yeah, so do you also offer help, let's say if a patient passed, you're also able to aid the family within that process as well?
If someone passed, yes, we do provide end of life intervention and crisis and support. So typically, the clients, when you enroll with our company, we're going to have those things in place for you now. The assessment is going to start with what do we want? What is our wishes? What are mom wishes? We're going to go through making sure they have a living will. What so that if they're imminently passing, it's not prolonged. And even if they after they pass, so what happened is a typical example is you've got a couple that have been married for 50 years, and dad's been taking care of everything for mom, and now mom is lost because dad is gone. She's never paid a bill. Where do I start? So we will come in and help them with bill management, come in and help them sort out and organize the bills along with the family, or at
No.
least give the recommendations. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to have in place. And now we start working with mom. Now we need to make the same plans for mom or dad or whomever go first. Or sometimes you're in it, it's an in-law. But typically, like I said, that's the number one concern is, oh my God, she's been handling everything. He's been handling everything. Where do I start now with her? Where's the support? So we will put the support systems in place for them.
Wow. So your organization is really able to help with all of the issues and the situations that may occur when dealing with elderly patients or elderly family members. That's so
Yes.
amazing. So tell me a little bit more about your offices that you have throughout Florida.
Well, we service the entire state of Florida. So we've got offices satellite in Orlando, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and our corporate office, of course, in South Florida. But we service the entire state of Florida. So you can be anywhere and receive the care coaching. We're going to be moving over to New York, to Connecticut, to Boston. It's really a global product because what one need in Florida, you need it in Boston. You need it in New York. It's the same coaching, the same guidance. So you don't have to be in Florida to receive some assistance or receive a coach because we're simply here to help you, help guide. We're not the physical help. So we don't do any dressing and bathing and things like that. So we don't have to be in Florida. If you have an aging loved one or you suddenly become a caregiver, all of the rules apply no matter where you live. You need the same thing. Something different. Your loved one may be at the point where they immediately need to move, and you or the other one may be in the place where we're starting to make decisions. And so the rule is the same across the board for seniors. You never go up, you only go down, unfortunately. But you can successfully decline, you can age in place, and you can do it gracefully.
Thank you so much again for sharing that aspect of it. So, what are some of your clients' perspective, your clients' opinions of the offices that you have open and how you are able to help guide their family through these processes?
Well, again, we service the entire state of Florida. I myself I am not a coach alone. I've got a staff of coaches. So, of course, I can't be all things to all men. But our coaches have been trained by me. We're all social workers, and we all have at least a bachelor's degree and nurses. So they are trained in our office. I'm always available. So again, I don't service all of them directly, but indirectly, we have coaches that are on our staff or on our team that have been with us for years or have experience of many years in the medical clinical field, rather it be in geriatrics or somewhere clinically. So people, love the fact that this is another advantage. They can be in North Florida and the parents are here in South Florida. So they will find us sometime in Jacksonville only to find out that the loved one is in South Florida. So they love that. They love the fact that, again, you're not stuck into one area, or one territory. Sometimes we get calls where they're ready to move their family member close to them, rather be in North Florida, which is great. They're in South Florida now, and they can always get help in the Jacksonville area, Tallahassee area, Orlando area.
Oh, that's really amazing. So you're really able to communicate with people no matter the distance and still be able to provide that level of care. That's really amazing.
Right. We have a virtual platform. We have a virtual platform, so no need to feel like I want to see you in person. We can always meet virtually. Your platform is there. We have a software where we can communicate, or we actually offer the families where they can communicate amongst one another on this platform, on this software. So my conversation with a family member can be recorded, and now the sister can log in and say these were the recommendations and this is what happened. And so this keeps everybody on one accord hearing the same thing, and so they have an opportunity to purchase that software from us that they can use.
Oh, that's really awesome. And for our listeners listening in tonight, do you mind telling us your phone number so that way people are able to reach you and contact you?
Well, in Broward County, you can definitely reach us at 561-699-7178. And in our corporate office, you can reach us at 954-315-1785.
Thank you, Miss Princilla. And now we're going to be taking a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tell Us Your Biz. And again, we're here with Miss Priscilla Seymour. Welcome back, Miss Priscilla. How are you doing again?
I am fabulous. I am so
Awesome,
excited.
awesome. So, moving forward with our interview, tell me a little bit about how you were able to cut down on the nursing home costs for your clients.
Oh, that is an amazing question. So here, the state of Florida offer a couple of benefits that most people are really not aware of, and they sometimes question or get a little concerned. But the state of Florida has a program. It's the Florida Medicaid for those that are living in nursing home. Now, the myth in the community is I must be indigent in order to apply for this benefit, and that is a myth. Okay. So you are able to pay privately if you wish, or you can also contact our office and speak to a Medicaid specialist. And what that Medicaid specialist would do is help you qualify for Medicaid, even if you are over the threshold. The threshold for your assets is $2,000
Okay.
and your income is $2,223. I may be off a number or two with the income. But there are different things that we can put in place with the use of an attorney to do what is called asset protection planning. And once you apply the asset protection planning to your application, you become qualified the moment you apply the asset, you begin your asset protection planning. Now, the benefit or the beauty of this Florida Medicaid is it's a benefit for life. So you yourself are qualified for the rest of your life. Okay, so the asset protection plan, most of the time people don't want to move it because they don't want to spend all their money, or they had some plans for relatives, or what am I going to do with my husband who's in the community, or what am I going to do with my spouse? They're in the community. Well, we consider all those things and we put all those things in place, which again is a part of the asset protection planning provision that the state of Florida has allowed for the applicants. But of course, you definitely need to use an elder law attorney that really knows Medicaid, not so much estate planning, but know and understand the Medicaid guidelines and rules in order to apply this. So you don't want to start gifting and giving things away so that you can now meet the criteria. So if you're listening and you say, "Oh, I'm going to start putting things in my daughter's name now," that wouldn't be the wisest thing to do. You want to pick up the phone and speak to a Medicaid specialist so that you can do that in accordance with the guidelines of the state of Florida. And that way you can have the beauty of it both. You can keep at least 75% of your assets, and then you can also qualify for the benefits at the same time.
So again, you're really even able to help them with the financial aspect of it. So last
Yes, that's
question
what
that I have for you today. For our listeners watching, why should we choose your organization, especially when it comes to dealing with our loved ones?
Well, one of the advantages that, unlike some people, they start a business, they like it, they think, it's lucrative or it's a good idea. But one of the things about our agency is I myself have worked in the long term care facilities. I have been a home health aide. I've started from the bottom, meaning I myself was a CNA, and there go my phone ringing, and it hasn't happened all day. I started as a CNA, so I once was a caregiver. I was a nursing home director of social services for many years. So I have the experience of working with you. So I know where you sit out in the community. I know what you're going to need to look for when you start the planning, whether it be an assisted living facility. I myself have taken the assisted living courses as an
Yeah,
administrator. So for all facets, you've got the experience from me, the CEO. So
that is
everyone is going to talk the same. So that is what I like to say set me apart. I've worked in the trenches. So I'm
Good.
able to go trenches with you.
Awesome. And again, that's truly amazing. I'm so proud of the work that you've been doing, especially for this community. It is time for us to wrap up now, but I just want to thank you again for Miss Priscilla to coming in and sharing about your organization and the care that you can provide to the South Florida community and Florida in general.
I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to appearing again and helping the community and answering questions on the next time we're here. Maybe we can open up the lines and answer some questions from some of our audiences.
Definitely. Okay. Again, thank you, Miss Priscilla, and have a beautiful rest of your evening.
You too. You take care. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management,